Hey guys, so a while ago I made a video talking about relationships between musicians and things that you need to keep in mind when starting a relationship with another musician. And I was thinking about that and I wanted to just talk about dating a musician in general, whether you yourself are a musician or not. And the biggest thing is that musicians, at least as far as I know, will always have this second focus or this first focus. No matter how long you've been dating the person, no longer how much you care about them, music is still going to be a priority. And that's because not only is it a passion, it's also a career. It's one of these things where we're very lucky that what we do is also what we love. That is not something that everyone gets to say, and it's something that we're very privileged to do, but it also means that it's going to take over our lives more than just a traditional job would. One of the things that I lead with in meeting people and starting relationships is that I do work a very unusual schedule and that I do have time commitments that are non-negotiable. I practice every day and I work Sundays so that I don't have to work Friday or Saturday so I can go to gigs and concerts. And yeah, if I don't have a gig or I don't have a concert, I'm happy to go do something else, and you're welcome to come to these things as well, but these are time commitments that I have. And everyone's different and everyone has a different level of commitment and a different level of balance. But for me, at least, being a musician will always come first, and that's something that's very important to me. Obviously, I want to be as healthy and as functional as I can in my personal life, and I have talked about this a lot, that I do try to find a balance between music and my personal life. But in the grand scheme of things, my major decisions are going to be to drive my music career forward. And while I want a partner and support in that, I also care more about my career and music than I do almost anything else. And that's not to say that I can't care about another person, but it is something that is always on my mind and I'm always thinking about, and that can put a burden on a relationship, and I'm aware of that. But it's something that I talk about and I'm open about, and if it's something that becomes a problem, it's something that I'm willing to discuss within limits. With that, I also really appreciate someone who goes out of their way to figure out what I do. And not to understand it completely. Obviously, as a contemporary specialist, I have a very specific world that I live in, and it isn't always the most straightforward. But someone who makes the effort to come to my concerts and ask questions and listen to my recordings and kind of figure out what I do, even if they don't understand it completely, means the world to me. I obviously want people to come to my shows, and I want people I care about to see what I do, because this is my passion and this is what I love. And sharing that with the people that I care about is really important to me. So having someone in my life offer to come to my shows is a huge thing for me. And I think that's true for most musicians, is having their partner at their shows whenever possible is really great. It shows a level of support, and it also means that there's someone in the audience, and it's just nice. Along with that, I love having people go to concerts with me. It allows people to get an in because I know the culture and I know the rules, and while the rules are dumb, they're still there right now, and it can be kind of intimidating to go to classical music concerts without someone to kind of guide you. And that's what's great about having a musician around, is we know the rules and we can help you and help you experience this world of really incredible music without some of the intimidation factor. And yes, the intimidation factor should go away. That's dumb and I hate it, and it's one of the things that I'm working towards in my own stuff. But in the meantime, being someone's guide into the classical music world is something that I love doing and something that I love sharing. And while I'm sometimes a little intimidated by bringing people to contemporary shows, it's a really nice thing to have someone offer to come with me too. So it's not just me asking, it's also someone offering. And that give and take means that they're interested in what I do and they're excited about what I do and they want to know more, and that's a big thing. It's kind of easy to ask questions about what someone does and talk to them about what they do, but there's a difference in experiencing it. And one of the things with being a musician is that what we do is more than just words, it's music. And part of really getting to know that is hearing it and experiencing it live and really being immersed in it. And that's something that you can't do without going to concerts. The other thing that I kind of think about a lot as a musician, currently dating a non-musician, is that we're kind of isolated in our communities, and bringing people into them is sometimes very hard, and kind of stepping out of them is also very hard. I mostly have musician friends, and they're not always the most open to non-musicians in that they don't know what to talk about. And it's sometimes hard for non-musicians to talk to musicians because we're so very focused. And one of the things that I personally do is try as hard as I can to not be a one-trick pony. I know about other things and I'm happy to talk about other things, and that allows other people to get to know me outside of this flutist. Because while yes, I am a flutist and that is a big part of who I am, there are also other things that make me me. And if I don't offer that information, it's very, very difficult to figure out who I am and get to know me. And it means that we're just stuck in these little musician circles, which are great and I love them and I love my musician friends. But if I want to connect to the outside world, whether or not in a romantic relationship, it's something that has to happen. It's not just talking about things, it's also the same way you want people to go to concerts with you, it's doing things with them that are within their interest groups. Wherever their interests fall, whether it be another art form or sports or anything else really, being open to those experiences means that one, you're not a terrible partner who asks for all of this acceptance and information and doesn't offer it back, but two, you're actually a human in the real world and not this musician robot, and there's a lot of those in the world and we don't need any more. So I don't know how helpful this video was. It seems pretty logical, but I see a lot of people not really having the same experience that I have, and I think it's mainly because they're not as upfront about what being a musician is and what dating a musician is like, and that's something that's very difficult to overcome. And most of us want a partner in life. If you don't, that's completely valid as well, but if you do, it's something that you have to be open about. This is a really big part of who you are. Again, shouldn't be the whole of what you are, but it is a very big thing, and it's something that needs to be talked about and addressed in a way where your partner is learning about you and learning about your world, and you are also open about learning about theirs. And that's the biggest thing, is it's a partnership, and yes, you have this big central idea, but they do too, and it's up to you to find those things too. If you like this video, give it a like. If you're new here, subscribe. If you want to support me more, check out my Patreon, and I will see you guys on Thursday.